Hello farmers, welcome back to Griffin, Indiana. Day 3 of summer is here. Been doing some contract work this morning. Got the money up to $117,000, which is rather nice. And thanks to you guys for telling me this, but with seasons on the baling contracts, I don't actually need to wait for the bales to convert completely over to silage. I can go ahead and spring them on down. Even though they're not silage bales, I guess the game figures, well, they will be at some point. So I've already tested it a little bit myself just to make sure that is true, and it is true. So we're going to go ahead and take the bales off one by one. I've already completed one contract just to make sure that this works. Right now we're waiting for a couple things to happen. One, the hay, or well, the grass. We're waiting for it to turn to hay. Unfortunately for me, it rained last night. You gonna take that bale? There we go. 98% completed on field number 35. Alright, so yeah, these are all the bales from the baling contract that were up in the grass field. So I got them all here. That's why I'm doing one at a time, because I don't know how many extra we're going to get. But as for our grass fields, yeah, the grass has not turned to hay yet. And it did rain last night for about 2 hours, so that is kind of unfortunate. So we're just waiting for that to turn over. Meanwhile, I've taken the steger out and I have seeded a couple of small fields. Got them done in no time flat. Harvesting. We did some harvesting contract this morning in fields number 4 and 5, all canola. And I was going to say I got stuck with 30 some odd thousand liters of canola to put in our silo, which is rather nice when it comes time to sell that. So that's what's been going on. I've done a couple, Frank has done a couple fertilizing job in Deutz Fire. So we're just kind of like waiting for the grass to turn to hay. So in the meantime, we're going to finish up some other contracts. But what we're going to do today is we're going to buy the twin brother of our John Deere seeder. We're going to buy the planter because I do have a planting contract for corn. So I need the planter. I mean, I could have leased it, whatever, but you know, we're going to get the planter eventually anyways. Now, there's a couple things. Why didn't you slide off? A couple things. We're going to probably have to do a different setup. So if you remember when I bought the tank, the seed tank, I did not put a hitch on the back of the seed tank. I think with the planter, the tank is going to have to go hitch to the tractor, and then the planter will attach to the tanker. So I'm going to need to put the hitch on. That was like $3,000. I mean, it's not a big deal, but I was looking at the planter in the shop, and I was like, wait a minute, I can't set it up the same way I do with the drill. So I got the steger already at the shop, ready to rock and roll. But we're going to buy ourselves a planter, and that is way too low for that. There we go. Stick that in there. Now, a couple things I have decided to do with what's going on here. I remember we said we're going to put down, or at least I said I was going to put down, the meat processing plant for the cows. I'm not going to do that. Get off there. There we go. And maybe one more bale? Yeah, I just don't feel like, I don't know. We did that in the Pacific Northwest, and, you know, I think we're just going to go ahead and do it. I don't want to say the correct way. I mean, there's nothing wrong with bringing a cow to a meat processing plant and doing it. But I think what we're going to do is if we get any males, we're just going to bring them on down to the livestock market and sell them out that way once they get to the desired weight. 79% complete. All right, so is it going to be one more bale or two more bales? So completing up these baling contracts is going to bring us a decent amount of cash in. So hopefully I don't have to borrow any cash to do the planter and the hitch that we need. At some point pretty darn soon as well, we're going to be buying the manure spreader for our grass fields because the cows are producing a lot of manure. So one more bale, and I'll probably get a little bit of cash from this, which is going to kind of suck because the pricing for silage here is not as good as it is at the BGA. And technically, I may not get any money for it at all because technically it's not even silage, it's grass. And I don't think you get money for grass in season. So I may complete the contract and get no extra money from the extra quote-unquote silage we're dropping off. Yep, contract in field 34 finished. So yeah, and the rest was grass. So, I mean, you win some, you lose some, right? No harm, no foul. Wait a minute, field 33? Did that not go... That's not, okay, well, whatever. We still got a couple more here. Bring us up to 144,000. I want to say that the planter is 170,000 in that general area. It's kind of weird that I didn't get any on that last bale. I didn't get any towards field number 33. So it looks like it's going to be 4 bales. Can this reach across the flatbed to get that? I think it might. There we go. So I'm going to end up with a lot of bales of silage. Now silage doesn't go for that much, but I mean we are talking 20,000 liters per bale. So it's not going to be too bad. So 2 more bales will do it. The one thing about making the bales that color, I did not realize I made it the same color as the Ford, or did I realize at the time? I don't remember doing it that way, but it's almost like a perfect match. Maybe that's why I did it. I don't know. Now the other thing I thought about doing is eventually getting rid of the silage pit. Since we got the baling wrapper, and just doing silage bales like this and storing them in the shed somewhere instead of having a silo for it. And now we don't have to compact it. But part of me says, I know the dairy farms around where I am, they don't really do silage bales, they do compacting pits everywhere. So if I got time to think about that, contract in field 33 complete. So let's go ahead and collect on that. So I only got 2 contracts outstanding. Fertilizing field number 21, I seeded that this morning with soybeans. And of course, sowing field number 31 with the corn. So some of the harvesting contracts come back. Those are the ones I were not able to harvest before. And I'm just going to leave them there because they're small. And to me, it's not worth my time. A lot of still plowing contracts and cultivating contracts going on as well. We'll leave that there. Let's go ahead and jump over to here. Yep, this is where I parked it, right where I left it. We'll fire it up, but let's go to the store first. How much is that planter? Where am I here? Planters. And down here. Oh, it's only 128,000. All right, that works out. Let's go ahead and, I know it says customize. Factory new. Ridge markers? No, we don't want ridge markers. We'll take them off. Does that save us any cash, really? No, why would it? Clean disk configuration. Cleaner disk configuration. I think we'll actually put those on there. And what is attachers? Trailer hitch. Oh, so if I put the trailer hitch on this, will the hoses attach the way it should? I did not see that when I was looking in the store. How did I miss that? Because you're an idiot, Peanut. Yeah, well, we all know that by now. So I may not have to put a hitch system on the sea tanker because I don't want to. Wheel setup. We'll go with fatter wheels for an extra, wow, an extra 4,200. Wheel cover configuration. I'm trying to see what that actually does. Wing wheel covers. It's $1,000. I'll leave them off because I can't really see what we're doing here. I kind of see something going on here, but I'm not really sure. You know what? It's $1,000. It's $1,500. We'll go ahead and do it. And is that it for setup? So wide tires, wheel configuration, no-till row cleaners. I think we're all set. So it's going to cost us $138,090. We got the cash, so I don't have to borrow anything. Let's go ahead and buy that, leaving us $15,000 in our bank account. Now, what we're going to do here is, this is where the fun can be really challenging with this system. So we got to come to like right about here. So I don't know if I'm looking in the right spot. I don't know where the actually connection point is. Is it here? It is there. Haha, found you. and detach that. We'll be back for you in a second. Let's just drive our drill. This is the drill. And we'll step on out of the steaker. Alright, detach the hoses. Maybe. And detach that. I'm glad a while ago when I started, I think it was a No Man's Land series where I started using the manual attach and detach, and at first I was like, it's just an extra step, and I kind of enjoy doing that kind of thing. Instead of just backing up like normally, in-game you can just back up and hit a button and poof, detaches for you. Yeah, I like this a little bit better. A little bit more interactive. Alright, so we attach there. There are the hoses. There's the planter. Now the fun can begin of me trying to back this up to the tanker. If I just take my time and go slow, it's not a problem. It's when I go fast to where this all gets to be haywire. I mean, it's not that difficult, really. I think right there should be good. Nope, that's the planter. Actually, you're a little bit too close, but it looks like it's good. That attaches now. Do the hoses attach back here? Or not? Where would they attach to? I would have thought they would attach to back here somewhere. Maybe I can't do it like this on the planter. See the hose attacher there. I don't see like a connection point for the hoses back here. Unless it is here and I'm just not getting it. Yep, being the idiot that I am, this is not attached to the seed cart at all. It has its own capacity, so... And the capacity is not that large on it. It's only like 2,000 liters it can hold for seed, which is not that much at all for a... Is this a 30 row? I think it might be a 30 row. So, yeah, I'm not sure about this this planter. We'll see how it goes. So I went back, like I said, I went back to the shop and I was looking at it, I'm like, oh, I looked at the drill and it says, yeah. It shows a little puzzle piece. Yeah, I'm going to take down every stop sign with this thing, probably. But yeah, it connects to the air cart. And I clicked on this. I'm like, oh, this does not need the air cart. All right. We'll see how this gets along here. Do I have to open the covers or not? Oh yeah, by the way, I moved the seed hut and the fertilizer hut right on down to here. Do I need to... Where's the trigger for it? There we go. Fill it on up. Not going to cost us too much in cash. I mean, it'll be fine if it doesn't use too much seed, but if it does go through a lot of seed really quick, the cover's back on, then yeah, then I may have to come up with something, because going back and forth to fill these up all the time, I guess I could get a cart to go next to it to fill it up that way. Well, these road signs are going to go bye-bye. Yep. See you later. So you may notice, by the way, our field right here, the soybean field, has germinated, so that's ready to go. And this is the field that we are planting in. So it all determines... I'll wait for this to unfold here. So this is the first time I've used it. Now the good thing about this is we don't need to cultivate a field or anything. This is a direct planter. So we don't need to cultivate, plow, or anything like that. That is one wide puppy, that's for darn sure. Now the question is, like I said, how fast am I going to go through the seed here? So I was kind of hoping this would hitch up to the air cart, obviously. Alright, so is that going to take a second to lower like the drill does? There it goes. It does take a second or two. Alright, let's go ahead and turn that on. Now you can hear it humming away for sure. And we are planting corn. Yeah, so it's kind of a little disappointing that we can't hitch up the air cart to it, but how fast are we going to the corn? It's actually not going to the corn, the seed that fast. So I guess it's okay. We'll definitely give it a go here for a few times around. But for what it costs, not too bad. And of course, the Steger should have no problem just hauling this around. It doesn't look like that big a piece of equipment at all. So yeah, there is no more seed or fertilizer hut back up at the other farm, the main sheds. I just moved them on down here. And that's where they're going to stay. Because like I said, I don't really need them up there at all, really. Because the grass fields, you can say, we got to fertilize the grass field. But we're going to do that with the cow manure that we have. And I don't think that we'll be doing that today. Like I said, I'm still waiting for that grass to turn to hay. I don't know. I'm just not having much luck with the grass turn to hay on this map so far in the geo that we're running. I mean, it's a positive day. If we look at the upper right-hand corner of the screen, it's a plus. So it's a good day for that grass to dry. It's not a double plus, but at least it's in the plus. Now, the only thing that worries me is tonight is supposed to rain again. It's in the forecast, so hopefully that grass is turning pretty darn soon. So we do have to fertilize. No, we don't. Sorry, we don't have to fertilize our soybeans. Soybeans don't need much fertilizer at all. So we'll double check on that here once we get done planting this corn. So for a little bit of part of the field, but I have to take consideration, this is a 30 row planter, I believe. We are going to the seed at a decent rate. It's not too bad, I suppose. But I don't want to say I'm worried about it. I mean, it's not much to worry about, because eventually we're going to be doing a lot of corn on this map as it is. At least that's the plan anyways. This will get the fields done pretty darn quick, because we're probably going to end up doing, I want to do corn silage, which would mean that I'd definitely have to keep those silo bunkers to compact the silage, the chaff down into silage. But where would I do it? Do I want to put the silo bunker up there? You know, leave it up where it is, because we're going to change that out for a different one. Yeah, a lot of things. I've been thinking a lot of things about on this map, and like I mentioned last episode, yeah, I mean, we're at episode like 37 now, somewhere around there, getting close to episode 40. Yeah, we only got maybe like about 25 episodes left before Farming Simulator 22 comes out. And I don't know if I want to continue the challenge or not. When 22 comes out, we'll have to wait and see. So I want to get a little bit of a move on this challenge of having 2,000 cows here. If we can get the part to where we don't have to do contracts in between episodes, that'll help out. We can kind of, you know, just focus on our own fields. I'm only working other people's fields. Let's go ahead and get the cash, so it's not too bad. We still have a $1.5 million loan, and at some point, before we plant corn in our own field, we're going to need a forage harvester, and those don't come cheap either. So hopefully, maybe, definitely got to finish doing contracts this year, but I'm hoping next season will be the last year I have to do contracts, and it may not even be the whole year. So even this small field that we're doing here is probably going to go through all the seed that we have in this planter. May have to have a look at maybe getting a different planter. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that the capacity that it holds kind of... Yeah, I was kind of hoping that the air tank would just hitch right up to it and I wouldn't have to worry about it. We'll have to see. But I'm hoping after we get done planting this field and I bring the Ford back up to the farm, we'll check on the grass field to see if that grass has turned to hay so we can make some hay and put it into storage. Just had a quick look at the store page to see what they had for seed bins or seed chasers, or whatever they're called. There's a few options there. I mean, if I decide to keep this, it's probably the route we'll have to go. There's a few options there. They're not that expensive. I think the size of the one that we're looking at is probably going to cost us like 20 some odd grand. So we'll probably keep this. I mean, the only time I'm going to use this, obviously, is to plant corn and sunflower if the desire comes up. Actually, I think on this map, a lot of the AI farmers contracts, I'm not getting many contracts for planting sunflowers, if any. I think only when the map, when we first logged into the map, there was only like one, maybe two fields of sunflowers, and I don't think anyone's actually planted sunflowers since. It's usually soybeans in the summer and cereal crop and canola at other times. So I'm also been looking at getting a fourth tractor, and that's all the tractors we're going to have. The reason being is, of course, we got the Steger and the Deutz-Fahr. The Steger's 535 horsepower. The Deutz-Fahr is like a 720 horse. And then we got the Ford that's like 110 horse. I need something very much in between, like a 250 horsepower tractor. And I was like, okay, oh, that tractor is nice. I like that. I'm like, you know what? I should use something I really have not used much of. And I might use a JCB. I could also use maybe a Steyr, the Steyr tractor. I think I maybe used each one maybe once before. But hardly, nope, stay lowered, thank you. But hardly really ever use them, so. And the reason why I want that is to fertilize fields with a fertilizer spreader. Or to do jobs that, you know, maybe baling up hay or something like that, using the baler. Don't really need to be using the Deutz-Fahr for baling hay with 750 some odd horsepower. Yeah, we got the Deutz-Fahr was kind of like our beginning tractor. Just get the tractor with a lot of horsepower that can, you know, that can do just about everything for us. That can plow, cultivate, has a horsepower to do what we need, so we didn't have to buy so many tractors and borrow more money at the beginning. So even doing this small field, I'm not going to be able to complete it with the seed that we started with. Luckily, it's not far from our seed hut, so I don't have to go, oh, the contract is complete? Well, thank you. Yeah, I will call it there then. And fold it on in. I think it's going to take a second like the other one does when it folds in. There it goes. Let's go ahead and collect on that contract right there. Sowing field number 31. Let's go ahead and collect. Just to give me a little bit of extra cash. Let me refresh contracts here. See if anything comes up. I'm looking for fertilizing field number 31. Well, that makes sense. We just planted it. So we'll accept that contract. And yep, that is it. And you're still folding in. So that takes a moment or two. Yeah, don't drive when it's folding and unfolding. It doesn't seem to like that too much. So if you're kind of new while I'm waiting for that to all hitch up, might as well go in the store. So you have to go into auger wagons and yeah, something like this. Seed runners. I was actually looking at the Ninja. Actually, it's 38,000. I mean, I think 8,000 liters would be more than enough. I just don't like the looks of this thing. I don't know what it is. I think it's just the color, really. Yeah, that seed runner, the Unverfirth. Yeah, I think that's a Uver. Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure I like that. The Stara, I think it's because it's green. Could be the reason. But the Ninja, that does hold, where is it? 19,000 liters, which is way more than enough. But I look at it this way. If my seed tanker ever runs out, that could get us by for a long period of time. And really, well, it is double the price. Something to think about. Then, of course, it just jumps way up, I guess, what I could do when it comes time. But we're a long ways, I don't want to say a long ways away. You never know. But I really don't need one at this point, so I'll check on the mod hub if I can remember and see what's going on there. But there is our planter for corn and sunflower. Yes, I can do other things, but really, that's pretty much what we're going to be using it for, is for this corn and sunflowers. Let's go ahead and park that there. I got equipment everywhere around here. Is that hay up there? That should be detached. Yeah, I forgot all about it at the end of the last episode. I moved the seed hut and fertilizer hut. And then I drove up here to fill that up. And then I realized, oopsie, that's not there anymore. Well, we got hay, ladies and gentlemen. We have some hay. All right, perfect. Let's use our overpowered Deutzfire to go ahead and roll this up. So I'm actually thinking about putting some of these sheds up where the silo is. So what I can do, and the reason why I wanted to choose these sheds, I can drive on through with my flatbed and unload the bales, whether it be straw or hay. And then they'll be on the cover, then I can just go in and pick them on up. Right now we're using this barn over here, which is sufficient enough. But you can see we're kind of low on the hay a little bit. Actually, not that much. Those are 20,000 liter bales, as we know. But I think putting these sheds up, and I think these are only like $9,000 for these sheds. Rather kind of cheap, so no hoses or hydraulics on that. Okay. There's got to be, wait, there's got to be a PTO shaft on that. There is. How come it's not? Oh. I'm starting to have issues. Manual attach. Sometimes I go there and click on it. And if you're not in the right position, yeah, it's not going to click for you. All right, so we got hay. I don't know how much grass I lost last night when it rained. But I mean, this should definitely help us out for the cows for a while. Let's go ahead and put that down. And then turn it on. Obviously, that always helps. And the problem is being that big, I may lose a little bit because I'll lift it off the ground maybe. I was trying to stay away from the hill a little bit. Yep, kicks it out a little bit once in a while when you're on the sharp hill. But overall, not too bad. I like this windrower because it's so flipping huge. It just leaves you less passes to do when you're doing baling. And also I can windrow at 22 miles an hour apparently. So we'll overlap a little bit. But now we got 2 fields of grass, which is going to be good. I am hoping by the end of this year we're at least up to 100 cattle. And then next year I'm thinking we're going to help them out quite a bit. Now I don't know how many of our cattle are pregnant. I have no idea. Haven't really been keeping track of that recently. But last I knew we were up to, what, 63 cows? And that needs to be increased a little bit, I think, if we ever want to get up near to where we need to be. But I'm kind of glad we got our planter today. I didn't have to borrow any more cash. So now, just keep on doing some contracts, get that loan maybe below $1 million by the end of the year, which should not be too hard. And the reason why, I mean, that should be easy enough, but what I would like to do also is start getting enough cash to buy another field. And I'm thinking field number 29 with the oil rig in it. May as well, because it's right down there by our lovely little shed in our barn that we have. Yes, that tree may need to go. I thought I got through here before with that, but apparently not. Fold it in and unfold. And drop. Turn back on. There we go. We're good to go. That tree may need to go. But I'm glad it finally turned to hay. So it took about a full day for it to happen, but... And if it didn't rain last night, it may have been even quicker than it was. Alright, get all that bits there. Yeah, but this windrower is not going to take long. But look at the swath. That thing looks flipping huge. But it's good. Less passes to go around. And now our cattle should be more than happy. Yeah, so I was thinking about putting those sheds up here. One of each. One for straw, one for hay. And then somehow do our silage bunker. But I got to see how it all fit. I may have to cut into our grass field here a little bit. But that'd be fine. We got plenty of grass fields around here. And I can always buy more fields in the future. Because at some point, the money's going to really roll in here at the farm. We're going to have more than we know what to do with. But now that we're definitely going to get this grass / hay at the field today. Probably next episode, we'll head back on down to the store. Spend a little bit more cash. Buy the manure spreader so we can put some fertilizer down on this field and the other grass field as well. And I don't know if I'll get a second cut on these fields or not. We haven't been able to. But I think this is the first year that we truly have an early cut on them. So maybe the grass will grow. But I will say this. In the fall, if we do cut the grass, we're not going to wait for it to turn to hay because I don't think it will. So probably if we do get a second cut this year, we'll make some silage bales and sell them then. At least that is the plan. And right now we only got 10,000 liters of milk. Yeah, the milk production on the cows is up and down. And I think it's like that. I think with seasons, it kind of changes for what time of the year it is for how much milk production you actually get from them. So once the cows do start producing milk, it's not like a constant, every day you're going to get this much. Depending on the time of year, it could be a little bit different. Just realizing it's like 4:30 in the afternoon, I was thinking, I think the rain's supposed to come around 9 o'clock or so. But right now the forecast is saying sunny with no clouds, so maybe I'm going to luck out with the rain. Who knows? The weather in Farming Simulator, I don't know if it resets when you relog into a save game or not. It seems like it's changing on me a little bit here and there. Matter of fact, I'm going to double check the forecast here. Alright, so yeah, now there's no rain in sight until, like today is technically a Monday. Is a Monday in game. It's not going to rain now until Sunday, which is like going to be like fall. So that's great. So what I'm probably going to do is just make the hay bales, leave in the field here for another day because I do have the Peterbilt with the flatbed and the silage bales on it down there. And I think I just got to wait one more day and those bales will be then silage. We'll take them on over to the BGA and sell them there because I'll get more money for them there. And hopefully they'll give me enough cash, which I don't think it will. Oh, that's right. It won't be processed until midnight anyways. But yeah, I was hoping to get enough cash to go ahead and possibly that way I don't have to borrow any money for the manure spreader. And we'll start using some of that cow manure that we got. We got a lot of cow manure for only 60 some odd cows, so I may be using that manure spreader more than on our grass fields in the future. But it's free manure, so we'll go ahead and use it. It's better than paying, like I said, all the cash I usually do. I forgot how much it is to fill up that Breedle's fertilizer spreader when it's empty, because usually when I bring it back up here, it may be like half full, and I just top it off. I don't even pay attention anymore. It's like, well, I need the fertilizer, because I mean, fertilizing contracts pay, man. They pay, so I don't really, look at the totals when it's done. But this should be more than enough hay now for the cows. And I think what I'm going to try to do to get myself into a rhythm is the first cut of the year, if there's more than one. The first cut of the year, like when it's summer, we'll go ahead and make hay bales out of it. And then if I get a second cut in the fall, we'll go ahead and make silage bales out of it and probably just sell it.
I go straight from the bank, gassing up the tank, cranking up the radio, playing old Hank, and it ain't that long till I'm back at the farm. I'm pulling up the truck down at the dock. It's time to do some cruising, baby, get a little stuck. It's a Saturday joyride, Percy Feast is the spot to take the blues away. We're on a boat, we're feeling fine, drinking Tennessee whiskey, a big blue sky. We're going up, we're coming down. There's a party on the water, it's a hell of a time. We're on a boat, we're killing time, in our own honky tonk with a bottle of wine. We're going up, we're coming down. Cheers to feeling alright, it's a hell of a time. A hell of a time. Yeah, we're chilling out here, ladies in the rear, our feet in the water, the top disappears, drinking Malibu Patron or a beer in a cup. Girl, I can hook you up. We all get to dance and I get to chancing, kissing that country girl, romancing, a whole lot of love, bumping out of the box. Yeah, we're on a boat, we're feeling fine, drinking Tennessee whiskey, a big blue sky. We're going up, we're coming down. Here's the feeling alright, it's a hell of a time. We're on a boat, we're killing time, in our own honky tonk, meet the big blue sky. We live it up, we got it down. Here's the feeling alright, it's a hell of a time.
Now, I think before I go over and do the other grass field and pick up that hay, I'm probably going to exit the game and go ahead and edit the XML file of this baler and just make the pickup width just a little bit wider. It's probably set for 3 meters. I may set it at 3.5 or maybe even 4, just because I don't know if it's the swaths I'm leaving down with the big windrower that we have, but yeah, unless you're exactly perfect going down the line, it's hard to pick it all up. So just go ahead and make it just a little bit wider so it's easier to get it all in one go. Yeah, all the little bits and pieces I'm leaving around, I don't know if I'm going to go around and pick them up later on or not. We'll see how my OCD handles it, leaving little patches like that around. Because it will take a while for the hay to decompose in seasons. I think the first year, when winter came, we did have a couple patches turned to hay, and they stayed quite a long time on the ground, so we'll have to see. But yeah, if I go and edit the XML file before I go do the other field, make the pickup width that's a little bit wider, make my job a little bit easier. I'm not going to go crazy and just do it like, 20 meter pickup width, because then I might be picking up the row next to us or something. But yeah, just make it a little bit wider just to make it my job a little bit easier. But plenty of hay bales, which is good. So just thinking about, like I always do when you're working and I'm not actually talking and saying anything, yeah, my mind just starts to wander about what are the goals for the series that we're on. And I think I said by the end of this winter, I'm hoping to have 100 cattle, moo cows, dairy cows roaming around the pasture. So if they don't hit 100 on their own by reproducing, having offspring, then we'll probably go buy some. I think we may get up to like the 80 something, somewhere around there, probably in that general area. As for, like I said, any male cows that we get, we'll go ahead and wait. We'll let them beef on up in the barn themselves, and when they reach like 1,200 pounds, I think is where the desired weight would be. We'll load them on up and bring them down to the livestock market and sell them. I don't know how much we're going to get for them, but it'll be kind of interesting to see how that goes. Because I don't think I've ever sold animals in seasons. We've done meat processing Let's see, where did I place? We did seasons on Hazard County, and I don't think. Did I sell any cattle there? I don't think we did anything like that. Do we have a meat processing plant? I don't think so. Green Mountain Forest, we never. That was mostly clearing out forest and putting up a farm. And then a lot of the mods I were using for Global Company were not compatible, so haven't been back there. In other maps we played seasons on, I don't think we've been on long enough to where we sold the cows and cattle or anything like that. We just did meat processing or whatever. So not too bad there. Can I get enough? I was going to say straw, because it does look like straw if you were playing the base game, but in seasons this is actually hay. See if I can get enough to top off this one bale here so I can spit it all out. One thing I like about the easier developer mod before I start using the baler, so there was a straw, well, partially a straw bale in here, and I just emptied it on out. Always works out nice. I don't like mixing my bales if I can help it. Pick it on up, empty that on out, and like I said, I probably, after I get done recording here in a moment, I'm going to go ahead and do it, because I mentioned it before, I wanted to increase the working width, pickup width of this a little bit, so just a little bit wider, like a ½ meter wider would be good. That's all I really need to do. But I got more bales to make, obviously that whole field over there. So I'm going to park the Deutz Fahrer right here for now. We'll do a couple things here. One, yep, so still at 63 cattle. And of course we got our young cows, which are not fertile yet. They're only 0.2 years old. Oh, no, next animal 0.2. 0.5. So we got a lot of offspring coming, as you can see. We just had like 5 or 6 cows right there in a row that are ready to reproduce. 0.7, not fertile. So at 1 year of age, the females get around 600 pounds. I don't know how long before the newborns can have offspring. I'm not too sure. Maybe a year and a half. Who knows? Well, this says 1.1 years. It says young, but it says not fertile. And this is 1 year old, and it doesn't even have the option of being fertile. So when they get over a year old is when they become fertile. Can become fertile. And the cow's health, they're all at 98%, which is good. So you can see we got a lot of animals expected here pretty darn soon. And like I said, I think we only got one male so far out of all the offspring, which is kind of weird. Did I scroll by it already? I think I must have. Where's our male? There he is. There he is. So when he gets up to be 400 pounds more, we'll go ahead and sell him off. Let me go back into contracts. Let me refresh here a little bit. And nothing. It's kind of weird because if we go to here... No, where am I going? Cultivated. We got a lot of cultivated fields, so they're ready to be seeded, I would presume. So maybe tomorrow I'll get a lot of contracts for seeding, and boy, do I want to get these contracts. These will pay pretty good for seeding. And of course, we got all these fields over here. Those need to be plowed and cultivated. I really don't feel like doing any more of those kind of contracts at all. So, and then probably to be doing this contract over here as well. This is sugar beet? Yes, it is sugar beet. So a size field like that, I'm trying to remember, we did sugar beet in field number 3. I think they paid us like 60 grand. That was like a 60 grand contract. So that field there looks a little bit bigger. So that might be an $80,000 contract. Of course, I'll have to lease the equipment. Not a big deal. And probably have to bring it on down to the Posey Country Co-op to sell it. But I'll definitely be taking that contract. Money-wise, like I said, we're down to 1.5 million. I want to get that below 1 million by the end of winter. If I get those seeding contracts, and definitely we'll be getting fertilizing contracts, that won't be a problem. But we are going to spend some cash because, like I said, I want to go ahead and definitely get a manure spreader. Because how much manure are we at right now? Actually, it's not that much as it looks. It's 194,000. I don't know what the capacity is of the manure here. Not at all. Not a clue. Not a clue at all. And as for milk, we're still sitting at 10,000 because I'll tell you what. Let's. It's almost 6 o'clock at night. Let's fast forward some time till 6 o'clock. because I got the mod where the cows get milked at 6 a.m., 6 p.m. So we're going to see here shortly. We're going to go from 10,000 up to like 12,000. That seems the way it's going to be. Actually, not even that, 11,000. I'm not sure. Maybe the milk production is going down because the cows that are quote-unquote going to have offspring, maybe we don't get the milk because technically the milk is going towards the offspring. I'm not sure if that's how it works, but yeah, the production of milk has gone down a little bit. But yep, we'll be getting more cows here pretty darn soon. So like I said, by the end of winter, hopefully we'll have 100 cattle, 100 cows running around here, all female for the most part. And we'll have our loan below $1 million. And we have spent a lot of money already this season. The other thing, I just want to double check here myself. That land right there, it's 800,000. I don't think I'll make $1.5 million by the end of the year to buy land and get that loan paid off. I mean, I could buy, I'll get 2 fields by doing that, and that land value, wait, that's 30 acres for 800,000, or I could buy 22 acres for like 500,000. Well, first things first, let's get the loan below $1 million, then we'll start looking at some land and maybe expand our farm a little bit. What's field 13? That's a nice field right there. Field number 13 for 400 grand. We have our options. We have our options. But anyways, that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. I'll catch you again right here in Griffin, Indiana. But until then, have a good one.